It's Sunday night, ladies and gentlemen, and you know what that means. Kevin, Ely, and I are back for another brand new episode of The Boom, brought to you as always by the good people at Fight Game Media. But this time, unlike usual, we are live. We are live right now on YouTube. We are ready for your questions, your comments, mainly your insults. And Kevin, I am about to start imbibing some alcoholic beverages. I don't have any energy drinks with me tonight. I've got whiskey, tequila, Diet Coke, everything a man needs to talk about. The glory and splendor that was AEW Double or Nothing. I'm looking for the comments. Where are you people? Listen, you assholes. You need to get in this chat right now. Kevin, this was an interesting pay-per-view tonight. It started out with what I believe was a 5-star battle royal. Maybe the best I've ever seen of when you look at traditional battle royals.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was a bit of a cliff, but my God, it came back strong at the end.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a lot of discussion over the next few days over, was this a good pay-per-view? Is this a bad pay-per-view? But after with the beginning, the ending, and I liked a lot in between, I have to say this was a real good pay-per-view because AEW only gives us good pay-per-views. Even when they're bad, they're pretty damn good.
Even when it's like pizza.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Where's all my alcohol? Here we go. I'm going to start pouring myself a Jack and Diet here.
I'm just water in a 70s glass for me tonight.
Is your water usually blue, Kevin?
That's the glass.
Electric blue. I don't believe that at all. That is some sort of very colorful gin.
Romulan ale or something like that.
Exactly.
All right, where do you want to start?
Let's see.
Sam, the beginning, the end.
Well, first of all, Sam Shipman is invading our comments right now. Sam from Power Bombshells. Andy Bowen has inspired me. Or I've inspired him. He's grabbing a beer. I hope Sam will grab something. Where do you want to start? Well, I think we should start with the main event and move back from there, Kevin.
Great. All right.
I guess neither of us has anything to say about that. Let's move on to the title match. Were you happy with AEW making the choice to put on the world title match in the co-main event? And I want to know in the comments what you guys thought as well.
In hindsight, they did it exactly the way they should have.
Right.
So any criticism that I would have had before that would have been wrong. Anarchy should have closed the show. And they made the exact right call. I don't know how that match was great, and it deserved to not be spoiled by the exhaustion that would have come after Anarchy.
Real quick, and Sam and Andy in the comments, let me know if you give me the answer to this if you have it and we don't. Which young buck was the one who's going to be shitting thumbtacks for the next 2 to 3 months? Which buck was that?
I believe it was Matt. I think
Matt
took some punishment. He went through some things.
I don't know. I don't know if I would rather rewatch the Tax and the Heel or rewatch Sid Vicious's Compound Fracture. I really don't know. I have no clue. It's close for me.
I have a thing about Tax. I don't like them in matches because, number one, I don't think they it's who someone put in the Discord when we were following this that it should have been Legos. Yeah, he slammed his bare foot into them, because that I'm like, okay, that I would quit. I would quit a match.
They've got a bunch of kids though. He may be nearly immune to Legos.
That's true
at this point.
That's
By
true.
the way, Sam is watching with her sister. Mike Gilbert's here, ready to talk about the Virginia Brazil UFOs. I'm sure we can pack that in near the end of the show. She says it is Matt, and Sam says she hopes he's had a tetanus shot.
We'll cover it all.
Oh my God! So, what was your? Do you have a particular favorite moment from Anarchy in the Arena? And do you think it topped last year, which we experienced live?
Oh God. It's hard to say because of that. Now, nothing topped the moment of Eddie Kingston coming out with a gas can intending to burn the place down. And
go ahead.
I thought that moment might be Matt Jackson driving a white pickup truck into the arena after Claudio left him for dead in the back.
I was sure that was going to happen. I thought he might run all of them over, the entire Blackpool Combat Club.
But instead, he just limped down. I mean, for me, it's got to be the exploding boot with no explanation. I mean, like he cast some sort of Hogwarts spell or something.
There is now a fan in the crowd who's going to be able to inspect that boot. It's probably on Twitter as we speak. And I think the most athletic move of the entire night goes to Claudio Castagnoli kicking that boot into the crowd like 150 yards.
Yeah, I must have been distracted at that moment because I didn't catch. The first time, I didn't quite catch what he had when he booted it. And I thought it was a beach ball because I had heard there was a beach ball bouncing around, and I thought they recreated the deal from Raw several years ago.
The Elite really went full Avengers tonight. We had exploding boots. We had Captain America pants with shields.
Yeah, poses.
It was pretty great, yeah. But in the end, it wasn't enough. It was not enough. I think everybody in the Discord was thinking the exact same thing I was, because I am clearly not special. And that is that we are going to get a match with Kenny. We're going to get the Golden Lovers versus Takeshita and somebody.
Yeah.
I don't care who.
I hope it's Yuta.
I think this is all working up towards. I've heard they're going to attempt to do a blood and guts at All In. And
at All In.
I've heard they're going to do it. That's the plan. Or they're hoping to do it. And so we would need one more person on the side of the Elite. Yep. Even though Adam Page has his full eye back, that's not enough for 5 people. So we need one more. And my God, I hope it's I really need the reunion of the Golden Lovers.
Yeah. I would love to see the Golden Lovers reunite at Forbidden Door. Because you got to see them in a straight tax match. Yeah.
We have to. Yeah, I was struggling to remember the name Kota Ibushi, and it just hit me. That's why I yelled it like a moron.
Yeah. Stadium Stampede in Wembley with Ibushi is still what Sam wants.
What Sam wants?
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Because the one thing with Blood and Guts is you have to do the 2 rings.
Yeah.
So the whole show would have the 2 rings, which is always kind of awkward for all the matches that aren't that.
Well, that helps. That helps sell out the arena because that's like 200 fewer tickets they have sell to get this out. By the way, have we heard anything on ticket sales recently? Last I heard was a few weeks ago. I want to know if they're at 70. See, Puppet Up wants to know if they're at 70,000 yet.
I haven't heard any updates about that. Everyone started talking about United Center and got a little distracted.
Punk sucks all the air out of every room. And there's been no talk about all these other issues. Not really issues, but like areas of interest to pro wrestling fans since the Punk stuff started kicking off again.
Yeah, he was posting on Instagram tonight during Anarchy in the Arena.
Who was he burying?
Nobody. He just put a bunch of Danhausen faces on the Collision poster.
That was a steal. That was a steal.
You think so? He's just got access.
It's right. Oh man, if only we'd had Danhausen in some capacity tonight. Not even on the unless he was in the first 30 seconds of the pre-show. No, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
By the way, did you watch the pre-show, correct?
Most of it, yeah. I was kind of in and out doing things.
They had like a 4-person booth. Was that Will Washington?
No.
It wasn't?
I don't think no.
Who was that man?
I don't know. I wasn't
well-dressed man
paying attention during that part.
Oh my God.
I wasn't sure.
Somebody in the comments, let me know who that man was in the really nice purple suit. Usually, I'd be burying somebody in a purple suit.
I was just waiting
off really well.
I was just watching Stokely Hathaway continually wait for his time to talk and then not get it because Paul White just kept saying 2 or 3 things instead of just one.
There was one line, I can't remember what it was, but Paul was so happy that everybody laughed at it. I've never seen such pride in a man. By the way, if you were watching us live, we're seeing that number climb up. Let us know you're here. Just check in the comments. We want to know who's here, who's watching with us, and let us know what you thought about Double or Nothing. Do I have to do a plug, Kevin? If I have to do a plug, I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to do a couple shots of what is this? Terramana. Of course, for AEW, I had to have the Rocks tequila for this show because Stokely Hathaway's is not available yet. Or Ricky Starks.
It's not yet. Is he starting a drink line?
I have to think he's working on it. By the way, we had last night, this morning, something like that. There was word that Will Hobbs had removed himself.
Yes.
From the Battle Royal.
Yes.
And because of that, in solidarity, the rest of QTV were pulled from the Battle Royal.
Yes.
Do you agree with me in believing that is what allowed us to have a 5-star Battle Royal?
I think that was probably the missing piece, yeah.
Yeah. Removing them, less is more. I don't know who replaced them, but it was fantastic. And we still need to move backwards to that. So what's the next step? Where do we go from here with Blackpool versus the Elite?
Well, let's see.
It's a good while until if this does come to a conclusion at All In, we've got a long time.
You've got a long way to go, and you've got a Forbidden Door in between. So, depends on when they start hinting at Ibushi. I guess someone posted that Kenny did a post-show promo.
Yeah.
Probably lying on his back, where he teased maybe having to go outside of AEW to bring in some people to even the odds.
Right.
So that could start right away. I mean, last year, the Wednesday after Forbidden Door, they immediately started plugging. The Wednesday after Double or Nothing, they immediately started plugging Forbidden Door.
I'm so excited for Forbidden Door. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone stays healthy. Big Pig did not like AEW's pay-per-view. Says the best match of the night happened on NXT. And just to be clear, he's called Big Pig because he is a pig and he is big.
He's big, just like Big Bill.
Yeah, exactly like Big Bill. Exactly
his
like
name
Big
is Bill, and he's freaking big.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, well, I only watched one show, so I can't really address that. I don't really know how you watch both and had a good thing. We just got to run in. Hold on. We have a live report from the arena.
Paul Fontaine on the streets of Las Vegas.
Oh, wait. I got to get rid of the explosion over his face.
I don't know how well I'm going to be able to hear you guys.
Paul,
can
we
you
have
hear
an
us?
explosion over your face, so I would like for you to start cursing immediately. Oh, there you go. Hey, man, how's it going?
What's up?
I'm doing good. So the general consensus is this show is awesome.
we were talking about how people watching at home in the middle of the show were hating on the show, but it had an incredible beginning, an incredible last couple matches. And I don't know what more you can really ask for out of AEW.
No, and the opener way over delivered. Oh, here's Jeremy Finestone.
Hey, Jeremy!
Great matches tonight. Had a great time. Hi, everybody.
Real quick, everyone there on the streets of Vegas, what was your favorite match of the night?
Okay, favorite match of the night. Quick.
Battle Royal.
Battle Royal. Main event from just about everyone else.
It was always going to be the beginning or the end.
For me, it was the Anarchy in the Arena. I thought very close. Not the match of the year, but like top 3, maybe.
How do you compare it to last year?
I thought it was better. Our friend Dean thought it was a little bit worse. I really like the story, and I like the ending a lot.
I liked the way they ended the music this year.
Yeah.
Yes, that was perfect.
It was perfect.
Oh, Eric, look at Steve's shirt.
What is that? Oh, it's a.
Is that Don?
Is that Don Callis?
That's amazing.
Team Filthy, repping Team Filthy.
Nice.
We've got quite the Fight Game Media representation there just outside the T-Mobile Arena. Was this show better or worse than you expected?
It was better than I expected. So there's a little commentary going on here. Is it the worst AEW pay-per-view outside of Daly's Place? And I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to get in that conversation because I don't care. I love the show.
It doesn't matter if it's the worst because it was still very good. That's
Exactly.
the thing. AEW doesn't give us bad pay-per-views ever. And I did think the last one wasn't as good as the others. It was still phenomenal. And this one was awesome.
Well,
it was my favorite. It started out, Paul, with my favorite battle royal of all time. I've never seen a better battle royal.
I mean, I maybe outside of a couple of the Royal Rumbles, maybe I would say that.
But the Royal Rumbles I don't count because they're non-traditional, you know?
Okay. So for a traditional battle royal, absolutely. Hey, look who just arrived.
Oh my God, who is it?
This is great.
My man,
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We got everybody here.
Okay, if you were in Las Vegas right now with the Fight Game Media crew, what's the next step? Where do you go from here, Paul? Where are y'all heading next?
I'm going to the karaoke party soon.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Paul did a sneak attack on me. So my quick second analysis.
Yeah.
The two last matches for what they were doing, great spectacles.
Yep.
I didn't like the Chris Statlander thing.
Oh,
gotcha.
That's right. We'll talk about that.
We're gonna get into that.
Beat Jade up and say on Wednesday your belt is mine. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I compared it to Honky Tonk Man and Ultimate Warrior at SummerSlam.
That's because you're old.
That's because I'm old.
Here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. I think this is what Garrett would say too. Is Honky Tonk Man didn't just wrestle a match.
True. Yeah.
So I see his point.
One other thing I wanted to say to you guys, Becky went to the loo just before Anarchy in the Arena, and she happened to run into some members of the Blackpool Combat Club.
In the women's restroom?
Blackpool Combat Club warming up for their match.
Oh, that is awesome, Becky.
Yeah, I was singing Carry On My Wayward Son at the same time.
So three Double or Nothings in a row. I've been in the section that John Moxley has entered the arena in, and at the Winnipeg Dynamite, he did that as well.
You know how to pick them, Paul.
It can't be coincidence.
John Moxley is tapping into my phone to find out what section I'm in to make sure that he comes down my section. There's 8,000 sections in there. What are the odds?
Is there a strong Becky Moxley connection? I feel like there's a Becky Moxley connection here.
Oh yeah.
Making your dreams come true.
They just haven't. She's keeping it on the QT. Keep that here. Don't tell anybody. Cut that out of the podcast. What?
Yeah,
we won't stream it live on YouTube.
We're cutting it in post. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a live.
By the way,
Renee is. She's like a front. It's
Kevin.
really Becky.
I'm sorry, Paul. I'm gonna say, my glory days in Vegas were 8 to 10 years ago, and you could not get a signal in the arena during a UFC. There's clearly been a large upgrade in the Wi-Fi in buildings like the T-Mobile, because we were talking to you the whole show.
I'm using 3G actually. I'm not even using Wi-Fi. So.
Really? Maybe that's the secret. Nobody there's is even trying 3G.
Yeah. But I should go because I want to leave on top, and I can't wait to listen to this recap on the plane ride home tomorrow. I'm gonna go do karaoke till about 2 a.m, sleep for 2 hours, and then get on a plane.
All right.
Good luck, James.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Thanks for running in.
Have a great night.
All right, take care.
See you guys. Loved everybody. Wow, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun. Loved seeing Double G. Love seeing all the new people. I don't know Becky well. Really exciting to see all the people just hyped up after the show. And that right there shows you, for all the there's going to be people criticizing this show, but everyone leaving loved this show. Everyone leaving's in a great mood.
Yeah.
Let's see. Marcus Munoz says the UFC is better than AEW. We had a lot of UFC signage tonight. A lot of people are wondering what that was. It's the official arena of the UFC.
Yeah,
so you're going to have a lot of signage. Let me tell you, though, until the UFC gets Danhausen on the screen, they're dead to me. They're dead to me. And I've covered the UFC for 15 years now, professionally.
Yeah.
So that's the real issue is Danhausen.
Fair enough. Yeah. No Danhausen, no.
Do you want to talk about, Puppet Up's into this. Do you want to talk about the returning Chris Statlander right now? Double G brought it up. He didn't like it. He didn't like it in the chat during the show.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. There was a different way to do it like he described, which would have been fine, but that's always the way it's done, and I like it that it was done differently. The only thing I would have preferred is if Chris Statlander came out in the exact same makeup and tassels and everything as the Ultimate Warrior. For some reason, I've had that in my head for months that that's how she'd return.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
Listen, it's what everybody wanted. They got it, and it popped the crowd when the crowd needed to get popped. The crowd needed a shot in the arm, and and they gave it to us. And I think more than anything, it did what they needed it to do right then and there, and it helped make this a successful pay-per-view.
You remember last year they had Anarchy in the middle of the show, and then they had a long downtime, and they also had a much longer show.
Yeah,
and by the end it was pretty tiring. You know, everyone was pretty done. This time I think they realized like we're gonna have a little bit of a dip in the middle, and put Statlander on, give a big win right off the bat to wake people up, and then just go straight to those two main events.
Yeah,
I think that was really smart. I don't disagree with what Garrett was saying in terms of like what you should and shouldn't do and all that stuff, and I agree that it probably would have been better, you know, from a business sense or whatever, to say, okay, she comes out, she lays out Jade, and then later in the show, they're like, hey, this Wednesday, she'll get the title match on TBS, and she could beat her there. I don't think this hurts Chris at all. I don't think anyone's going to be saying, oh, she beat a Jade Cargill that was already tired. Everyone is just so happy that she's back.
We're probably going to get an immediate rematch. Very well. They've said Jade's taking some vacation time.
Yeah.
That's word on the street.
Yeah, Fightful reported that she could be taking some time off right away. So I think, just disappear her for a little while and let her come back fresh.
When she comes back, it'll be huge.
Yeah, when she comes back, she could be in a completely different division even. Listen, she could be coming after Tony Storm for all we know.
And if anybody out there, that's right, tell him, Puppet Up. If anybody out there thinks that Jade Cargill is not worthy of this title, let's not forget, we just saw Wheeler Yuta pin Kenny Omega in the middle of that ring, correct? Mm-hmm. This woman spent 6 months doing nothing but choking out Wheeler Yuta on being the elite. 6 months.
Right.
This woman is a powerhouse.
That's right. See, people forget about that.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And as you pointed out, the reason Best Friends couldn't come out and celebrate with her,
Sue had to pick him up at 7.
Sue had to pick him up at 7 so she could be in bed by 8.
That's right. Got to get that minivan.
That's right.
When it comes, you don't get to hang around.
So now let's talk about the title match. Let's talk about it. I was actually really surprised that Jungle Boy didn't turn. He still may turn, but I really was sure he was going to do it in this match. That might have been a red herring they wanted us to think, and I
definitely wanted you to think.
Yeah, and I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
And people kind of booed when he didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
They wanted to see it.
You know, for having a terrible build, it was a great match, and we always said this is going to be a great match. And because I'm guessing possibly because of the pregnancy announcement by Sammy Guevara, Sammy was as over as anybody there but MJF. Darby Allin oddly felt a little dead compared to the other, when generally he has been the number 2 in the build up to this, but tonight he felt like an also ran. He didn't feel like he was really as big a part of this as he should have been.
Yeah,
to me. to me.
You haven't been watching All Access that much, have you? So
no, not at all.
Okay, so Sammy's a major character on that, and
Okay.
you know, obviously it's a very contrived show. They're playing up certain things, but the character on All Access of Sammy Guevara, I think, is fairly genuine to who he really is, which is a guy who works really hard and thinks he could be a main event talent if he's given the shot. So when he gets a shot,
He goes
takes
all
it.
out.
And I think that's true of his AEW career, and I think it was true tonight. I think he was like, I think he said early in the match, he looked at the camera and said, "This is my night."
Yeah.
And I think that's what he was thinking. He's like, I'm announcing that I'm going to be a dad on the air, and I'm going to go freaking make people want me in the main event.
And he did. He really did.
He did great. Yeah, everybody really came through. I do think Jungle Boy did seem stale a little bit.
Yeah.
Just the same old look. Everyone kind of had a new look other than Darby, and you know, he just looked like same old Jungle Boy, which I thought was part of the act, you know.
Right.
But yeah.
By the way, Sam Shipman is reporting the scrum is starting with MJF. Says no bleeding or pickles. And Andy Bowen, and I agree with this, Andy Bowen. He says, I don't think Jade loses anything finally losing, but her undefeated gimmick was stale. I think you're right. The gimmick was stale, and this is what they needed to do. She needs a little bit of a reset. I think she's going to come back. I think she's been slowly turning face.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if we're going to get a heel Chris Statlander. And that might be part of why they did this. And that's going to help introduce her as a heel potentially. Maybe as soon as Wednesday.
My sense is they'll just be separated. I think this is a one-off, and Jade will go away for a little bit, and she'll come back in a different mix, maybe even on a different show.
Yeah.
Like maybe she'll be Collision bound, and they'll keep Statlander on Wednesdays because it's the TBS title.
Right.
Who knows? Who knows?
Things are about to get real weird in AEW, Kevin. Real weird.
They are.
I don't know if I'm ready for it. There's nothing I hate more than a brand split, especially a brand split with nothing but troublemakers. That's going to be really interesting. Before we move on to these other matches, we're just talking about how Sammy Guevara really probably raised his star power here a little bit in this match. Let's talk about some other people who really had a good pay-per-view. Clearly, this one was good for Wheeler Yuta. But I've been singing his praises to some extent for a while. Big Bill had a killer battle royal.
Yeah, he did.
They put him over like $1 million. He did an amazing job. I think he went out at the right spot, but I really hope they make a move with him. And one of the things I've been saying is seeing him in there in his like jeans and cowboy boots. He feels like mean Mark Callis before Mark Callis became the Undertaker. I feel like he's just one gimmick away, and maybe they can make a big deal out of him just as Big Bill, you know?
Yeah.
But this was the biggest. This was the most attention and the most.
Yeah.
This is the biggest spot of his AEW career.
This was the biggest bill that's ever billed in AEW. Yeah.
By easily. Now let's talk about the people who lowered their status tonight. Let's talk particularly about Tony Khan's fedora.
You're right. You buried the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before the show, they did the what would they call it? The opening ceremony.
The opening ceremony to the Owen Hart Foundation Memorial Cup or whatever
tournament. They did not bring out Adam Cole or Britt Baker to surrender their title belts, which
seems like a huge waste. Yeah,
this seems like they should have done that. And then
I both like that they give, what's her name? Is it Samantha Hart? It's not Samantha Hart. Martha Hart. I both like that they give her the opportunity to kind of do her thing at the beginning, but it's always, I mean, we've only done it twice. It's always a little awkward. And then Tony Khan said, you know what? If this isn't awkward enough already, I'm about to take it to the next level.
That's a great spin on that. That's a great spin. Oh my God.
He said,
I don't want her to feel awkward, so I'm going to go.
Beer, Martha. I'm saving you.
Yeah. I'm going to.
Nobody's thinking about her fascinators now.
No.
They're thinking.
I feel really bad that I forgot about the fascinators. That last year she wore the fascinator and was like, let's make this a tradition.
Yeah.
to wear fascinators every year, and
I threw a Mardi Gras party at work this year, and we did a little contest, and the winner won a Mardi Gras fascinator with a piece of fake fried chicken in it. And let me tell you, that man proudly wears it to this day. I don't think he does, but I'm assuming he puts it on when he gets home from work.
Well, sure. Yeah, when you need to feel yourself, yeah.
Exactly. When you're really feeling yourself. So do you think the Battle Royal being as good as it was might have been a little bit of a hindrance in why people weren't as keen on the next couple of matches? Because I got really hyped up during that match. They used it to build a number of storylines really, really well. And then at the end, we had Orange Cassidy versus Swerve, which was phenomenal. And I felt like it's the first time we've really got to see Swerve perform with anybody outside of Keith Lee since he started in the company.
Yeah,
and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And so even though Adam Cole and Chris Jericho, I'm thinking if I'd watched their match independently, I might have liked it more if I hadn't just come off that sugar high, that sugar rush of the Battle Royal.
I think that was definitely a risk because I don't know if anyone expected it to be that good. I mean,
people are forgetting Orange Cassidy's the MVP of AEW.
Yeah, he is.
I think that's clear now.
Yeah.
And
last 6 months, easy.
Yeah, he's been amazing. Before that, though, on the pre-show, we had the Hardys and Hook take on Ethan Page and the Guns.
Yep.
I'd forgotten that was happening. I enjoyed seeing Hook. That's really all I've got on that.
Yeah, no big deal. Other than Jeff looked horrible and looks like he should not be wrestling, which we've known since last year's.
We've known for a while.
Double.
I really just want them to get a goodbye storyline going, a final, the Hardys' last ride. I don't care if there are ladders involved. I hope they're not. And it should happen at the compound. Or maybe they take a ride to Sandy Fork. Wouldn't mind seeing that either.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Once
Jeff can he can show Mark Briscoe some of his lawn mowing techniques.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
All right. Where do you want to go from here, Kevin?
Let's see. What about we'll just start from there from the beginning. So Chris Jericho and Adam Cole. I didn't understand why they were putting an unsanctioned match on a show with Anarchy in the Arena. It seemed redundant because
and they
you're either going to steal thunder from the main event or you're going to hold back.
Yeah,
and they kind of held back.
And they clearly held back. Also, I hate to say this, like somebody came by and was watching that first match with me, and they know Chris Jericho from back in the day, and when they're like, "That's Chris Jericho," and I'm like, "Yeah," they just kind of grimaced.
Yeah,
they just kind of did a cringe face.
Yeah,
Chris is slowing down. I think it affected this match. Also, there were so many gimmick matches on this show. That I couldn't keep up with all of it. Particularly the open house rules match.
Right.
I didn't have any clue what the hell was going on. I didn't know what was legal, what was not legal. Which I said in the chat, that tells you how invested I was in this, which I wasn't at all until the entrance, which was awesome. And I almost switched teams from Sky Blue to Julia Hart, but I stayed loyal even though it was tough. Because the darkness and the nails and all that.
Yeah.
I love
just
it.
Pushed your buttons, huh?
Yeah, exactly. The Freddy Krueger hands, man.
Yeah, the Jericho thing, it was just kind of boring.
It was.
Like, it was just...
I liked the match with Roderick Strong more.
Oh, easy.
It was on Dynamite.
But I think that's because that night they didn't also have another big match like that to do, so they could go all over the arena and play with the Mr. Frosty or whatever it was called. And,
there was no ice cream in the entire match.
Yeah, no. And then they did the whole push on having Sabu out there to ward off the JAS, and then they were there for 5 minutes. Sabu like broke his back or threw a hip or something, going through a table just right off the bat, and then that's it.
Is that what I saw it? I saw him go through the table, but what was he really escorted out? Was he injured?
No, I mean he got up and he kind of like they all brawled to the back, and then
he's 79 years old, people.
Right.
I'm probably lying. That. Let me go find his real age here.
Sting is the best and worst thing that's happened in AEW over the last 3 years because now every 60-year-old star thinks that they can go out there and be the Undertaker.
It's kind of like when Sting retires, there'll be this deal where they keep trying to replace Sting, and they just keep breaking old retired men.
Well, they're kind of doing that with Billy Gunn. They're kind of treating him like Sting now, where he's like the whole match is building to a hot tag for like 75-year-old Billy Gunn to come take on the 3 baddest men, like these demons from hell.
Billy Gunn shouldn't be taking any bumps whatsoever. Sabu is a very hard living 58.
Yeah.
Which is 79.
Yeah.
I think.
Looked good in a suit, though.
He did. He really did.
Yeah.
And I do like that he did have he has his 1 point to the sky move that he does after every single footstep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of, they should have a match with the Pentagon so they could just have a showdown between pointing to the sky and the Zero Miro and then never touch. And then it's a time limit draw.
By the way, I really liked Pentagon in the Battle Royal, but I always, I like the Lucha Brothers a lot. But I love when Pentagon is going one-on-one with somebody. When I feel like he's a single, and he had so many great spots in this show with guys who were like main eventers, and I loved it. Also, Keith Lee looked like a monster in this.
Keith Lee looked like a monster the way he should, yeah. Who was it that eliminated him? Was it Bill?
Was it Bill? I can't remember. Was it Brian Cage?
It was Cage, yeah.
I think it was Brian Cage.
Yeah, because he works for Swerve.
It's so weird to me, and I still would like an explanation, which I'm never going to get, that we have no Brian Cage for almost 2 years. And then it's like, they just give him a call and he's here, he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, were they just not using him because they didn't have any ideas? That's insane. It's crazy. And now it's like, we have a show completely dedicated to problem children. Miro's back. Like, what? I didn't even know he was a problem child. All I knew is he wanted to kill God. But that's not like problematic in wrestling. We've had those matches before.
That's not problematic in wrestling. Yeah.
I don't know what happened there, but and then Andrade's ready to go to WWE immediately.
Yeah.
CM Punk calls. He's back. He's ready to roll, son.
That's right.
I don't know.
They're all good. Thunder Rosa's back doesn't hurt anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
God. It's going to be really interesting to see what tag teams are going to be there to wrestle FTR. I'm assuming we're going to have House of Black versus FTR. But right now we've got FTR versus building to a match with
Bullet
the
Club.
Golden Elite. Yeah, I'm sorry, the Bullet Club. Exactly. Bullet Club Gold, not the Golden Elite. Good God. Which makes me think they're going to be on Collision, which I would that's one thing we talked about is I kind of would like to have CM Punk or just build that club, throw in CM Punk, throw in Will Hobbs, and that's a monster faction that you would have so much fun with. Punk doesn't need it. I feel like they kind of need it right now. And then, of course, like we said last week, you build to CM Punk versus Jay White, which is a match I think every hardcore wants to see.
Yeah, I think that's the Collision program of the year, I think.
Yeah.
If they
But then that means Ricky Starks is then on Collision. Which he's been a Rampage guy, it feels like, for a while.
I think there was a joke in the Discord that I was asking like who's gonna be left on Wednesdays, and someone, I think Paul said the Elite, and I was like, great, they can just do best of 7 matches, like all 7 matches on the same show, just to fill time.
Yeah, it's going to be AEW Dynamite Collision Course, where everyone wrestles everyone like the old school WCW pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Was that? Yeah, that was Collision Course, and I loved it, even though everyone else, I think, all the adults hated it. All right, let's see. What did you think of Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie? I thought it was one of her better matches.
I thought it was pretty good. Definitely one of her better matches, and
She
really
debuted some new moves.
I like how the two of them match up because I like that. I like the, someone who has the same strengths as her comes in and does it. So I like the way that it. I just like that.
I like the way it played out. I thought it was a good match. I've liked their matches against each other, and again, Jade Cargill is growing, and I like that on every one of the pay-per-views we've had her on. She's shown new moves. She's shown new things, and I thought this was a good one. I thought her selling was good. Her whatever she did, I can't even remember what it was. She did off the top rope that Taya met with her, caught her with her knees.
Oh yeah,
I really liked that. By the way, her entrance was awesome. Her entrance with her sorority sisters and the pretty girls walk like this. I loved that. I really liked it, and and again, I think it felt like a face entrance almost.
Yeah, I'm really, if this is a reset for her, I'm really relieved because I think she's ready to. I think she will connect with people a lot more as, kind of not to compare her too much, but like kind of the Bianca Belair, where it's like this is a super athlete, like black excellence character, who, like I really think people will root for her if given the chance, and I think it was right to bring her out as like the arrogant star at first, but I think people really want her to do well. Yeah, kind of like a Chris Statlander. I mean, in a very different way. But like, I think if you brought, I don't know, what the future is for the other women's division, but like if you brought Jade back to challenge Toni Storm, I think people would get into it.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, we've had a few more people pop into the chat. We'd love if you let us know in the comments who you are, where you're watching from, that sort of thing. And tell us what you thought of the pay-per-view. Tell us what you thought of AEW Dynamite. By the way, real quick, if you like what we're talking about here, if you like the Boom, if you like pro wrestling in general, for just $5 a month, you can subscribe to Fight Game Media's Patreon for exclusive shows, extended shows, and weekly shows that you can't get on the free feed. To check that out, go to fightgamemedia.com. No, don't go. Go to patreon.com/fightgamemedia. If you want to hop onto our Discord, which we had a great time talking about the show on the Discord tonight, email what is it?
GG at fightgamemedia.com.
Exactly. GG at fightgamemedia.com. That's for Garrett Gonzalez, of course, our El Capitan. And of course, right here on the subscribe to the YouTube, you're going to get a lot of original shows like this every week, specifically on Sundays. We always get the Power Bombshells at 1 o'clock Eastern. And there's a number of other shows that occur here on the YouTube first.
Speaking of Strong Style,
that's the
New Japan show. Jeremy Feinstein, who just appeared briefly on our camera
from the mean streets of Las Vegas.
That's right.
Possibly on the corner.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm not.
If you're a AEW watcher and you're into Forbidden Door but haven't been watching New Japan, I bet the Speaking of Strong Style show would be a great show to follow the next 6 weeks or so.
Yes,
for sure.
It's kind of essential. I think it's definitely going to be essential, as he's going to help you realize what's being built to on that side and who these people are that are going to be coming in are going to be key at Forbidden Door. And Forbidden Door, of course, is going to lead to a lot of the major things we believe they're going to happen at All In, and then the next day or the next week at All Out. New Japan is going to be key. So speaking of Strong Style as a show, you want to be watching, you want to be listening to. Let's see. I made a little bit of a heat index here.
Okay.
Both a positive and a negative one.
Oh, great. All I did was take notes.
How dare you? So, my negative heat index.
Okay.
Number 1, and these are not in order.
Okay.
Number 1, Tony Khan's fedora.
Yeah.
Number 2, Christopher Jericho.
Okay.
You know what? I put this one in the wrong list here. The ladder match with no rules, I did not like. I didn't like that, even though Wardlow had the really cool spot off the ladder. I hated that Luchasaurus laid there for 10 minutes waiting for Wardlow to get set up. He scooted and adjusted really well. I made an entire Italian dinner, walked Puppet up, all of it, while Wardlow was working his way up that ladder.
It was a tall ladder.
It was a very tall ladder. By the way, really, really happy that Wardlow is not grievously injured after that match.
Yes.
Which he was almost grievously injured a number of occasions.
Dude, that spot where he jumped from the turnbuckle to the ladder and his foot
the ladder
just went
collapsed
through the rung. Yeah.
Ooh, I was
pretty bad.
I was sure he was never going to walk again.
Dante Martin was sitting at home watching that and thinking, "You fool."
Yes. Here's something else I liked. So a lot of people are like, "Oh man, the Acclaimed aren't the same once they lost the titles." I was not I was fading coming off the FTR match, which I really liked. I was coming down.
Yeah.
When well, let's see. Watch that. Where did that match happen? Trying to
happened
find
right
it
after
on
the Tony
list.
Storm Jamie Hayter match.
That's what it was.
We'll get into,
I was down. I was not hyped. And their music hit. And the thing is, they have the most high energy entrance in wrestling. And I got hyped up again. Again because I remembered I love the Acclaimed. Everybody loves the Acclaimed.
Everybody loves the Acclaimed. Yeah.
And the Dominic Mysterio line was phenomenal.
Getting touched by a kid named Dominic.
That's right. It was so good. And I think, so let's go over my positives here.
Okay.
I love the Tenryu combo punch chop by Dax. I loved the entire Battle Royal. Let's see. Really glad the QTV got pulled from that. Let's see. I love that Arn Anderson consumed a man's finger. Consumed a human's finger, bit it off, swallowed it. Blood all over his face.
It was like he I don't even know what happened there.
I can explain this, Kevin.
It looked like he just sort of like if you were to take a chicken leg, fried chicken leg, and then just rip the skin off but leave all the meat on it.
Yeah.
That's what it appeared to be.
I think just the what do you call it? The degloving of the finger. I think is all he needs to do to power his finger Glock, which can murder people.
That was how he loads the bullets in.
Yes, he has to consume at minimum the skin of the finger to make that work. At least that's as far as I understand. And I know a good bit about firearms.
I'm very relieved that he did not pull out the Glock in this match. I was afraid that Luchasaurus would be climbing the ladder to pull it down for Jarrett, and Arn would pull out the Glock and shoot him off of it. Yeah.
Oh my God, it would have been just like King Kong as he falls off the Empire State Building as Arn hits him with the Glock.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things on this show, which I think has already been forgotten by a lot of the people who watched it, was a few weeks ago we got to see a really terrible beatdown of Britt Baker when she was handcuffed and her man was handcuffed. She was kendo sticked lightly. Britt Baker came in tonight and showed every one of these mother effers how you beat someone down with a kendo stick. It was glorious. It was a work of art, Kevin.
Yes, yeah.
I loved it.
That was great. Should have been the finish.
Should have been the finish. They should have wrapped it up immediately.
Right away, yeah.
They went a little too long. They got a little too greedy.
And then they just ran out of match. To me, it was just like they just ran out of things to do, so they just kept punching until it ended. But it didn't feel like Cole went into a murderous rage or
Yeah, it should have been him punching until the referee physically pulls him off and he's still trying to punch. It needed to be blatantly obvious.
Yes.
This man is unconscious. He can't defend himself.
Yeah.
This is over. But it wasn't obvious. It wasn't as obvious as it should have been.
Yeah. The thing is, Cole, I really like Adam Cole, but he basically has one gear.
Yeah.
At this of intensity. And he didn't go to the next gear. It
was very difficult.
He didn't go to the next gear. And 1 year ago at this time, we were watching Eddie Kingston do pretty much the same feud with just the personal hatred of Chris Jericho, and you thought that man was going to murder someone.
Yeah.
He's
pouring gas everywhere.
Pouring gas on him, and he had that cold stare of just like, this is it. We're both going to hell tonight. And I did not get that from Adam Cole. I got the same Cole that I would get at like NXT War Games.
Yeah. By the way, have you been watching ROH?
No. I've been paying for it, but I've not been watching it.
Sam Shipman, if you are still here, have you been watching ROH? Because I want to know what the hell's going on with Eddie Kingston. Is anything happening over there with him?
I think he had a hernia surgery.
Oh, okay. That's right. And we're hoping he'll be back around Forbidden Door. I'm taking Kevin, I took an extra day off work.
Okay.
So I don't have to be back at work until Wednesday.
Nice.
So I think that's what I'm going to be doing on Tuesday is I'm just going to be watching some ROH to try and figure out what the hell's going on over there. Who's doing what?
That's good.
Sam is here. Sam has been watching. Sam, has Eddie Kingston been on the show at all? Has he been cutting promos? Anything like that? You can cut a promo after hernia surgery.
Did I just make it up that he had hernia surgery? I don't know why.
I think you're right.
He did.
You're
okay.
making it up.
Confirmed. But did send a video after Kenta won at Resurgence to challenge him for the Strong Championship.
That's what I'm talking about. That is a fighter right there. That's a man's man. That's a woman's man right there who is recovering from hernia surgery and still challenging people like Kenta. You know what? I'm toasting Eddie Kingston.
All right. Let's talk about FTR and Mark Briscoe and Jeff Jarrett.
I was so not happy that AEW signed Jay Lethal, who I liked, and Jeff Jarrett. Yeah. And then they bring in Karen Jarrett, and it's just full TNA.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. They're so good.
They
are so good. Everyone in that group, Sanjay Dutt is so good, and Satnam, who has no right to be so good, is still so good. As in, Satnam carrying a baby was great. Satnam in overalls was great. Satnam looking like a billionaire wearing his nice suit.
Yes.
Is amazing. And I know, and I know, I have full confidence that when they're ready to debut Satnam, it's not going to be exactly like Hook, but it's kind of going to be like Hook, and that he's going to be, I just have a feeling he's going to be way better than he has any right to be. Yeah. And I love him. And I really did. Some people were saying, oh, they never had a shot at beating FTR. I did. I thought they had a shot. I bought it. You bought it. Paul Fontaine bought it.
Yeah.
I really thought they were going to win. I think they could have.
They totally could have, and it probably would have been great. Yeah. Yeah. I think it would have been really good. They were so over.
Yeah. And the star.
Karen Jarrett in her, third appearance?
Yeah. They were they chanting F you, Karen? Is that what they were chanting?
Yes.
She had that crowd wrapped around her little finger. They hated her, and that's so impressive. Mm-hmm. Despite, by the way, the star of this match, the true star of this match was
Mark Briscoe.
No. I'd like to say Mark Briscoe. It was dual pencil. It was dual pencil Sanjay Dutt. One behind each ear. Yeah.
Pay-per-view pencils on Sanjay Dutt.
2 pay-per-view penciled up on a Sunday evening.
Yeah.
My God, Mark Briscoe was also very, very good.
He was good. I didn't notice it, but a lot of people pointed out that on the first near fall, he forgot
he was the ref.
He forgot he was the ref. I just love the idea of him being in the match, being, God, this is a good match.
Yeah,
and then just forgetting that he's not just watching.
If that was a mistake on his part, it's a beautiful mistake.
Oh, it's perfect for his
because
character.
he is a wrestler, not a referee.
Yeah,
who, by the way, was rocking full camo referee attire. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
If I were him and I'd been a wrestler, I would have just been like, "This is awesome. Yeah. I'm getting to watch this match up close.
Right.
Oh shit, was I supposed to count? 100% me.
Yeah,
100%.
and it works for the character too. Yeah,
it's perfect for the character because he's like, he's not a dumb guy, but he's kind of a dumb guy. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's goofy, and that's something
he's a
he
simple.
would do.
He's a simple man.
Yes, he knows about chickens.
That's right.
Not about refereeing.
No, he knows fighting and chickens.
It's exactly
and tag
right.
team wrestling because they always said he was the strategist of the Briscoes tag team.
I think that is a very kind thing for people to have said about Mark Briscoe. Very kind.
What'd you think of? One thing I liked about it was they had a straight up good old fashioned tag team match, and then they did all the crazy overbooking stuff like super fast. What did you think about Aubrey Edwards taking a guitar shot?
You know, a lot of people had been talking about how Aubrey's eye makeup, which was, it felt like it was, her eye makeup was done by a makeup artist on Broadway. Like, so the people in the cheap seats could see the makeup. And a lot of people felt like she deserved that. She deserved that shot for the makeup. And how dare they? How dare they? I'm glad that they gave Aubrey semi-night off in Vegas with her fantastic Vegas Strip makeup. I enjoyed it very much. I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it. By the way, Sam says that Eddie came out and helped FTR beat up the Workhorsemen. I can't imagine they needed that help that bad. And Andy Bowen says, I hope this leads to Jay turning face and eventually teaming with Mark Briscoe. You know,
it would be cool. It seems pretty far away from right now. But
you know, Kevin, early on we talked a lot about who this man's been in tag team his whole life.
Yeah,
who would he team with? Jay Lethal is somebody we didn't think of, but it'd be awesome. Of course, it would be awesome. I would enjoy that very much. No, I like the match. It was a really good match. It's not one people are going to talk about. Did you hear that horrible sound, Kevin?
A little bit, but wasn't
in
too
your
bad.
ears. Okay,
yeah, it's fine. It wasn't.
It
too
was
bad.
nightmarish for some of us. It's not a match people are going to be talking about as one of their favorites, but it was. I really, really enjoyed the match. Some say it was a little overbooked. I enjoyed it.
I think you knew it was going to be because it's the TNA crew and how many people they have in the corner.
They came out with so many people.
Yeah,
I feel like Karen Jarrett tried to get a good seat, and Tony's like, I can't. We don't have enough seats. We don't have enough tickets. We can't give you a ticket.
We're gonna have to write you into the program.
Yeah, you can be with the guys at ringside, but we can't put you in a seat. And that's what she chose. Okay, Sam says Orange Cassidy just said in the scrum that he would fight Zack Sabre Jr. That would be a great match. I would love that match. Now, if that match happened at Forbidden Door, I could see there being a rematch. And I still think Orange Cassidy, I don't want him to ever lose the title, just like everybody else, but he has to at some point, and it needs to be at All In. It needs to be at an international event. And it would be phenomenal for him to lose that title to Zack Sabre Jr., possibly in a rematch from Forbidden Door.
So each one of them has a title right now.
Yeah.
Zack Sabre is the IWGP TV champion.
Right.
Which is really a fun. What I have seen of ROH are his title matches, which I think there's a 15-minute time limit.
Yeah.
So they make them really fun. So I think it'd be pretty fun to see Orange Cassidy in a do a
title for title,
or maybe one title's defended on one show and the other title's defended on the other.
Okay,
so maybe Orange Cassidy, he could lose both. He could go for the title match, go to a time limit draw at Forbidden Door.
Right,
that's just super fun, and then maybe Zack Sabre gets the title shot. There, yeah. Sam says she loves the IWTV TV title match. I like matches. I like belts, divisions that have rules you can remember.
Yeah.
Unlike the trios title right now, but
oh my god.
But I like when titles have certain parameters like that, constraints, and having a 15-minute time limit is great, especially for a wrestler like Zack Sabre Jr.
Absolutely. I think I don't know. I just really think that Orange versus Zach could be better than Orange versus Will Ospreay, and that was a great match. It was
Wow.
so good. I really do
That's
think it could be better though.
bold words.
Right?
That was
All
like
right.
your match of the year last year, wasn't it?
It was. I think it was. It was definitely top
It was one of
top
ours,
two or
yeah.
three. Yeah, one of us. Okay, so one match we haven't talked about yet. By the way, the most over person in Wardlow versus Christian Cage was the turtleneck. It was neither
Yes, it
human
got
being.
turtleneck chance.
Oh my god, turtleneck chance. Let's see. Andy Bowen says, "Have Orange lose at Forbidden Door." He takes off the time to come back at All Out because All Out needs something.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. All In is
That
going
is
to
a
be
really good
stacked.
point.
They're going to have things built to play off immediately into All Out.
Yep.
Which I'm hoping and I'm hearing that both are going to be on Max, the former HBO
okay.
Max. Hopefully that happens.
Well, I don't know. I just bought the 2023 pay-per-view package on Fight.
Oh my god!
Where it's all the shows for the rest of the year. So hopefully they don't get moved to Max, which is the first thought I had as soon as
I don't think it'll be all. I think it's going to be those two, and I think it's because they're so close together.
Yeah.
And the fact they need things to help boost Max subscribers at the moment, and I think that's going to be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? The thing is, it could be a plan that doesn't work out. By the way, real quickly, there is some phenomenal. There's a lot of problems with Max right now. One of which is, and this is particularly problematic because of the writer's strike at the moment, they had to throw together Max so quickly with a lot of new content from Discovery Plus that they just have directors, producers, everybody, creators listed under what have you seen this, Kevin? It's all listed under like creators or something like that. So nobody's properly listed as to who they are. Directors, producers, any of that, which Writers Guild, Directors Guild, Producers Guild, all freaking out.
Right.
And it's really just the people who actually do the work. They're doing the programming.
Right.
Didn't have the time.
Yeah.
And so they just came up with like a way to throw it all in there so the names were there.
Oh gosh.
And then last night on TikTok, I saw a phenomenal video where it's like, oh, Max doesn't know if you're a real person. Take this test. And it's like, which of the, like, there's an image of the number like 17. And then it's like pictures of dice. And it's like, which of the next three pictures equals the number 17.
Oh, wow.
But like the little pointer to go to the next slide is covering some of the dice. So you never know what it is. So then you have to go to audio, like an audio test. And it's like, which of these patterns is repeating? And it's these weird fever dream audio patterns that are insane. And the people are like cracking up. This is the way to get through the, are you like a real person? Not just how many crosswalks do you see?
Yeah.
It seems like a little bit of a nightmare at this point. So they may need All In and All Out to get these subscribers.
They will. It's good timing.
It is good. It is really good timing. We haven't really talked about Tony Storm defeating Jamie Hayter. Listen, everybody knows Jamie Hayter's injured right now.
Yeah.
I really hate that she's injured right now.
Yeah.
I hope it's not that serious. Have you heard, or Sam, have you heard, or Andy Bowen, have you heard exactly what the injury is? Like, I've heard shoulder.
I have heard rotator cuff.
Oh, no.
I don't know how reliable that is.
Oh, no. We need Joe Rogan to send her to get some
it.
stem cells.
Yeah.
Get her all fixed up.
Hopefully it's pretty minor. I mean, she worked.
Yeah.
You know, there was a point where she raised her arm up. Yeah, there was a point where she raised her arm up, and you could tell that underneath the arm was like a lot of like, you know, when bruises kind of go green, like they've, you know.
Kevin,
like
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I know it's sexist. That's what I know. How dare you?
Well.
How
I'm
dare
talking
you?
about when there's bruising.
Let's see. Sam says Tony cut a promo on Jamie in the scrum, and TK was like, "What the hell?" I've only heard rotator cuff from Kevin, so you're the only one spreading these lies.
Starting
sexist
rumors
lies
about
of
mystery
green,
bruises and rotator cuffs,
gangrene rotator cuffs on the underarm.
If you've heard it, hey, if it turns out to be true, I'm really smart.
I think that's kind of what I've heard, but I've not really been. Listen, man,
it's kind of a mystery.
I'm very new to this 9 to 5 world, and I've got a long weekend, so I've been committed to doing neither jack nor shit.
Neither one.
Neither one. I've not looked into this too thoroughly.
Yeah.
And I have not been asking the questions of the few connections I have in the wrestling world.
Well, they've been before this match and during this match, they were talking a lot about Wembley in terms of Jamie.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can think of is whatever she's dealing with.
Yeah.
Whatever level of realness it is. It seems like they at least are hopeful that in, what would that be, 2 months?
Yeah.
2 or 3 months that she would be ready. So hopefully,
yeah,
this is sidelining her to recover so that she can come back bigger than ever, which I think would be great.
Yes.
I did not like how they did this. It killed the crowd. It just broke everyone's hearts because she's so over. And
nobody wanted to see her just get beat down. Nobody wanted to see that.
No.
It's better. I guess it is better. Listen, nobody wants to see Toni Storm have a second interim title. Nobody wanted that.
Right.
That
she needed to beat her for the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there had to have been a better way to do it.
Just copy the Cody play. Like, have her come out in the ring gear with the belt. When she takes it off, she reveals that her whole arm is thing, and it's like they just say she's hard,
Could have been makeup. It could have looked like Tony Stark's arm after he snaps with the Infinity Stones. That's the way to do it, man. Just her entire that half of her body is,
and then just do the match and have. I don't mind the people interfering and Britt coming out and stuff like that, but it was just like they didn't need to overdo it the way they did because it didn't make Tony look all that great.
No.
Tony is the best choice right now, probably, unless they decide to go with Ruby, because Ruby's been killing it right now.
Ruby has been killing it. But one thing I'm going to say is a lot of people were talking in the Discord about how Wardlow lost all his heat when he lost the top knot to Samoa Joe.
Right.
Toni Storm right now is rocking double top knots. It looks great. It looks phenomenal. I really do think it affects the way I think about her as a wrestler. Like, I really like the look.
Yeah.
And it may have given her that extra dice roll of charisma.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're having to juggle things around with that storyline. But they've got enough talent in the storyline, I think, to make it work. Trying to think. I think we hit all the matches.
Let's see. Yeah, Taya versus Jade.
What did you think? And I'm curious to hear what people in the comments think about this. Again, I'm very big on aesthetics. I don't know why, but I am. It might be my OCD. But things like the hair on Toni Storm really do affect the way I see a wrestler. And gear really affects the way I see a wrestler. I want to know what people thought of Chris Statlander's gear. I know a lot of us were really excited about her come back. A lot of us had ideas as to what she would look like. As in, she always had, even post Alien gimmick, she would have really cool like face paint that I really liked. And I'm wondering what people thought about her gear. Let's see. We've got Dollypool has joined the chat. Top 5 biggest future in order. We're going to get to this. By the way, so people at home can be listening. Again, if you're listening to the podcast and not watching us on YouTube, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, Hook, Dominic Mysterio. We're going to come back to this once we're done talking gear, which will take like 3 seconds. Let's see. Yeah, what did you think?
I wasn't
of it?
crazy. I wasn't crazy about it.
I didn't like it.
Mostly because I thought her look in that time when she dropped the alien gimmick and she got hurt, her look was really cool. It was really badass.
I think it should have gone back to something like that, and literally maybe like this was an Ultimate Warrior like moment. And I'm not joking when for some reason I always thought with the face paint, it should be something that's like an homage to the Ultimate Warrior. Something brighter, something a little 80s, you know?
You want her to get Vegas Strip eyeshadows. You want her to get the.
You know what? I think that there might have been a mix-up. I think there was a mix-up between her and Aubrey Edwards. I think she was supposed to get that makeup, and she got Aubrey's dark makeup. But it was all kind of dark, and it was all felt a little muddled, and that it was just a little dark and muddy when she is. And this is something people have been hyped about. It should have been bright. It should have been a little flashy. And I thought it was a shame that she didn't have a different look, which also makes me wonder if they might make her a heel and that she's got this dark, muddy look. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still thinking. I think they're going to do what they did last time, which was she was this. She had the more than a woman catchphrase on the tights. Yeah. This kind of like, super odd. It's kind of cool that I think the women's division AEW right now has like these super women, like Jamie Hayter, Jade, Taya to a certain degree, and now Statlander, like these kind of, like, I hate to use the word hosses for a women's division, but just these like heavy hitters that can just have like really hard hitting matches.
Do you include Taya in that? I'm curious.
I do, yeah, because I think that's how she's been presented, is like this really heavy, the spears and the big clotheslines. And
which, by the way, like, I do like Taya Valkyrie. Like, I really like her. Did some work, including her on MLW with reels, but I feel like the crowd was dead when she came out.
Yeah, she's not that over.
No, she's not that over, and I think there's got to be a way to get her that over. Dolly Poole saying Tony Storm could wear a potato sack, still be the hottest spud in the field. That's a great way of putting it. No Tony said she'll slap the tits off of Jade Cargill. Thank you, Sam, for that comment. And that is from right now. That is from the Scrum. Yeah. That is from the post-fight press conference.
Yeah.
My God.
If she keeps up with lines like that, she'll have a great world title run. Yeah.
Yes,
here's something. Will. Andy on her gear. Not a goofy alien anymore. Badass. I'd keep her away from the best friends.
I was about to ask that.
So they couldn't be there. But
I was about to ask that.
I do like keeping her away from the best friends. I completely agree with that. I think she needs to have her own identity and not get tied in with them right now.
I can see that. I hate to admit that, so I can't say it. But I hear you, feel you, and agree with you.
Yeah.
Sam said TK was like, please stop after that.
Poor Tony. Every press conference now, he's just got PTSD. He's just dreading.
Tony's not ready for these people. No. And I'm wondering if he felt like that hat, that fedora was like a way of protecting himself, like Magneto's helmet in relation to Professor X. But it's not. It's not.
No. It's not. Should have worn a fascinator.
Sam, that's right. Sam, I cannot wait to watch this press conference after this podcast is over. It sounds phenomenal. Okay. Dolly Poole's question. Dolly Poole. Top 5 biggest future in order: Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, Hook, Dominic Mysterio. I'm going to start with my favorite, who I think has the worst future in pro wrestling. And that's Darby Allin, because I don't think he has much of a future, because he is talking about retiring already, and he's serious.
Yeah.
Skateboarding is his passion. I think he is probably making a lot of money right now in AEW, and once he's saved up enough, he's got a TV show being made. He's hanging out with Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
I think that's what he wants to do.
He's just going to become a media personality.
Yeah, and I think he'll probably, if he's smart, come back every 3 or 4 years for a couple of matches. I think he might be AEW's Brock Lesnar in a way, like that, where he just shows up every
a great
few
comparison.
years for a big paycheck.
Yeah.
But I think he could be the biggest, but I don't think he wants to be. So I
Yeah.
think he's at the bottom.
Or even either straight up retiring before too long, or even being the guy who comes in and works 3 months a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think it would be dumb for him not to. Because I think he's so popular right now that if he does walk away, it will be a huge news story. WWE will probably try and pull him in. He's going to say no. But, like, why wouldn't you come back for, like, $1 million for 3 months?
Right.
There's no reason not to. It helps spread word on what you're doing, your podcast, your TV shows, all that. I think that's the move.
Especially if they get with Warner and they're looking for more reality type talent based on personalities.
Yeah.
You know, a Max show of Darby Allin, you know, climbing Everest and you know, doing Daredevil stuff around the world would.
I can see almost like a Jackass, but without the foolishness.
I'm imagining it's like a cross between Jackass and Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's him and all of his skateboarding friends, and he brings them in, and they go. You know that
they just live life to the fullest.
What I'm about to say, I realize is bullshit. Okay.
All right.
But it's like he pulls in some crazy famous monk, and they like skateboard down the Himalayas, and then have a great meal together, in like him and a Sherpa. That's the show right there.
Yeah, and then he reflects on his life for like 90 seconds.
Yeah.
It's
as they're putting the bones back in place in his legs.
Have you watched the movie The Menu?
I've not watched The Menu yet. Okay.
There's a character John Leguizamo plays that he's like a over-the-hill movie star who's about to pitch a reality show that's sort of an Anthony Bourdain kind of thing.
Okay.
And him describing it is pretty much that. He's like, so yeah, you know, tried like a monkey head and whatever. Then I reflected my life for 90 seconds, in and out, boom, boom.
By the way, I'm not in intense pain at the moment. I know it looks like I do.
Yeah.
If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see I'm sitting at kind of a built-in desk, and my dog Puppet Up is right under the desk.
Oh.
And she just let loose the most vicious fart I've ever dealt with in my entire life. It is so bad, and I wish I could escape it, but I can't. Let's see. So Sam says they introduced Orange as Chris's best friend, and Orange Cassidy was talking about him, Chris, and best friends. Here's the thing. I think that you can distance her from best friends without completely removing her from best friends. Like, for instance, she can come out for the saves. She's not hanging out with him all the time, much like they've done with Orange Cassidy. They're with him sometimes, but not all the time. You don't see as many backstage segments with them all together. They're kind of doing their separate thing, which apparently includes physically running to Tony Khan's office to demand an opportunity to take the belt off their good friend Orange Cassidy.
That's right.
Which led to the Battle Royal.
Or stick up for him, which Trent did by taking the elimination. Getting kicked in the head, taking the elimination to save Orange Cassidy, which I thought was really great.
So Dallypool has a very disturbing question here.
Oh, gosh.
Snog, marry, avoid. That's his safe version of FMK.
I can't go there.
Jim Cornette, Eric Bischoff, Vince Russo.
No, none of those.
I can give you a decent version of an answer here.
The worst part of this is I just thought of an answer. I can't even say it.
I would marry Jim Cornette because even though he is an asshole, we can talk Mid-South, we can talk old school wrestling, and hopefully keep out of all the modern things that he's an idiot about. And also, I know good and well, he really loves Greasy Spoon Diners, which, as do I, which explains the image you're looking at right now. All right, so the other one, avoid
Vince Russo, and then
I'd avoid Vince Russo, which means I'm snogging Eric Bischoff, and that would make me puke. I would throw up. Ugh.
Let's get back to his top 5.
Let's finish the top 5.
So put Darby 5. I think that was right. Like you said, you put him over as first. I think that's accurate. I think he could be first, but I don't think his future is long for this business.
He could be first, but he's probably going to be last.
Yeah. Let me pull this up again to see who else is on here. Sammy.
I think
Jungle
Sammy
Boy, Hook,
tonight.
Yeah.
Sammy showed, removed from Chris Jericho, his own man. I think he can be phenomenal. I think he can really be phenomenal. And let's see, Jungle Boy.
I think if Jungle Boy gets that personality transplant that he needs, I think a heel, much like Dominic. I think if he can find that inner heel, that will be the key to unlocking his future. If he can't find it, he's stuck where he is.
Okay, I think we have to place Sammy above Jungle Boy in this pecking order.
So. Yeah.
Okay, so right now we've got Sammy, Jungle Boy, and then beneath that, Darby Allin, even though he could be above them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this leaves Hook and Dominic Mysterio. Where do we place them? I haven't watched recent Dominic Mysterio where he's actively cucking Buddy Murphy.
I think fantastic.
Okay.
In what he does. Now, can he be... Oh, I look at these guys and I'm like, can any of these guys be a world champion?
Yeah.
Darby Allin's the only one I can think of that can headline a promotion right now.
Yeah.
And probably in the next 3 or 4 years.
We don't know if Hook can cut a promo.
Yeah.
I really love the way Hook carries himself, but also I think Hook is the smallest one of these guys.
Yep.
And they're all small. They're all small.
They're all very small.
Which is why I was always
for Darby, that's a plus.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's his thing. He's thrown around by big guys.
Right.
I think Darby would be the guy if we knew he was going to stay in wrestling, but I don't think he's going to stay in wrestling. I think, yeah. So Sammy, would you put Dominic above Jungle Boy?
Yes.
Okay. So Sammy, Dominic, Jungle Boy. Where do you place Hook here? Is Hook above Jungle Boy?
No, I think he's below.
Oh my God!
I think there's a reason they don't let him
I'd put him
talk.
a little above. Yeah, but I think with the right man, it sucks because like if Hook were with like a Don Callis or a Paul Heyman, but any guy you'd put him with, you know who he needs to be with? Hook would be great with our boy who was on the pre-show. What's his name off?
Stokely
Hathaway, because Stokely might be the only man that we're talking about here who's a great talker, who's not bigger than Hook. He might be, but he's closest to Hook's size.
Yeah,
he's so small.
Yeah.
So that's as good as I think you're going to get out of us as to where we would place them. Let us know in the comments, or on Twitter if you're listening to this via podcast, where you would put these 5 guys. Let's see. Orange City owes Trent another title shot inside. I'd really like to watch that. All right. So, do you put this, Andy? I need a little bit more definition here. You're asking Dallypool. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I love questions like that. Andy Bowen is asking, would you put Takeshi in your top 5? Do you mean top 5 overall in wrestling, in AEW?
I think he's asking that future top 5.
Oh, I think Takeshi.
I think he'd be number 1.
He'd be number 1 in that group. Yeah, absolutely. And I think if Darby Allin was staying in wrestling, it would be tough to figure out which of those two I'd put number 1 or 2. I think Takeshi.
All I know is
even with
sometime in the next 6 months, you're going to see Takeshita take on Kenny Omega.
Yeah,
and that's going to be a big deal.
I'm curious if they're going to go Takeshita Kenny, or they'll go Takeshita Ibushi. If they are indeed bringing in Ibushi to join the Elite, probably both. Those will be phenomenal matches. Oh my God. Okay, so this pay-per-view that we just watched. My God, things are falling over here. Which that's an evergreen statement. This versus Revolution, which I thought was a lesser AEW pay-per-view. Not bad at all, but lesser than the others. Do you keenly remember Revolution, and was this a better show?
I remember, if you just asked me without even thinking about it, I would have said Revolution was a better show.
Okay. Hangman Page versus defeated John Moxley.
The only
MJF beat Bryan Danielson 4-3.
Right.
That match,
the best Iron Man match I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Amazing, blood feud match.
Yeah. Ricky Starks beat Chris Jericho. There was a lot of great stuff that came out of that. By the way, Kevin, we've said it before, and I want to reiterate. AEW has its flaws. It has real flaws. But I've seen the best tag team match I've ever seen in AEW. Maybe the second best tag team match I've ever seen. We've got the best Iron Man match we've ever had. We have had the best, just watch the best Battle Royal that's ever happened. Traditional Battle Royal. When you go through all these matches, these special type matches, AEW on almost every single one has given us the best of all time. And the thing is, I can't remember offhand which ones it was, but I can almost guarantee you we've had the best 6-man matches of all time in AEW.
I think a lot of that has to do with taste, because I think they do a kind of wrestling that we both are into, and so.
But it's not just us.
There's a reason that we post a weekly show talking about it, because it really is the kind of wrestling I like. They do better than anybody else regularly, and the things that they don't do as well are interesting enough to talk about, right? So like what he tries to do, even when he's not doing it well, it's not like WWE was a couple of years ago where it just turned me off and I just didn't want to watch anymore. I'm interested in the mistakes they make. I'm interested in the different the things that they're due.
By the way, before we get to Dallypool's newest question, thank you, Dallypool. Just stumbled on this channel at random, liked and subbed. We really appreciate that, Dallypool. We really hope you will check out our weekly podcast and to listen to our podcast wherever you get your podcast. If you're a podcast listener, go to Fight Game Media. Look up Fight Game Media. You subscribe to that every Tuesday. Our weekly show called The Boom pops up, and I hope you'll check it out, and I hope you'll stick around. There's loads of reasons to hate me, but we hope you'll stick around for my man Kevin Ely, who sometimes gets dengue fever and has to take a weekend off. Sometimes. Rare occasion. But
so this will be published on the feed, on the podcast feed too. This is going to come out in the morning. You're watching the episode right now.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the talk online of Kenny Omega being better than Kurt Angle? I think Kurt now. You think Kurt Angle in 2023 is better than Kenny?
Can't go there. Can't go there. You're talking to two guys who were just talking about how AEW makes the kind of wrestling we like. So that's going to be a non-starter conversation.
I'm going to say something a little controversial here. I'm going to get serious heat for this.
Okay.
I may have to hide for a few weeks. I like Kenny Omega. I don't love Kenny Omega. To me, there's something about the way he works that I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it doesn't I don't think to me, it doesn't surpass like old school Ricky Steamboat and things like that. And I don't know why, because I know Kenny is phenomenal. I know he is. And I think Kurt Angle, I might put above Kenny Omega right now.
I would.
Possibly.
I would.
But Kurt Angle in 2009, 2005, when he was in TNA, it was painful to watch that man walk. Not wrestle, literally walk. I could look at him and tell the amount of back pain he was in and knee pain he was in, and he still had great matches.
Still had me great matches.
So
now you talk peak versus peak. Yeah.
I put 2023 Kurt Angle well below any Kenny Omega. But peak, I think I'm going to go with Kurt Angle, and I know that's going to be a little bit controversial.
Here's what I would
now put. Will Ospreay 2023.
Yeah.
I might put him above peak Kurt Angle. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's pretty damn good.
I would put peak Kenny
above
peak Kurt Angle.
Okay.
And I would say peak Kenny would be his New Japan run before he started AEW.
Right. I think
I would put probably 90% or 80% of Kenny's career. 80% of Kurt Angle's career was better than that.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, maybe not 80% because he wrestled so long after he was hurt. But peak Kurt Angle is better than most of the Kenny you're going to see. But peak Kenny is state-of-the-art wrestling.
I'm going to pull this up. I think
it's from Belfast, Ireland. What time of day is it right now? You're up late.
Yeah, I think, what are y'all, 8 hours? I think y'all are 8 hours ahead.
Oh, is it? Ireland. It could be morning. Could you just
up so I think it's early in the morning in Ireland, I think, because I always
think of our friend David,
2015,
who stays up to watch these shows, and
he's in England, I believe.
Up all night.
Yeah, Dally, but I was wondering because I was like, I don't recognize this name from the Discord, from the Facebook. Really, really love having you here. But I think, for my money, while American viewers look at Kenny as the best wrestler in the world, and he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, clearly, always. I always looked at Okada as the A side of those classic Kenny Okada matches that got Kenny where people are talking about him as the best in the world. And he's clearly awesome. He's phenomenal. But I still think Okada is just a little bit better.
I think so too. More well-rounded.
Kelly Poole says at 6:30 a.m. he's on the Guinness all night. We really appreciate having you here, man. We generally try and cap this at 90 minutes, so we're about to wrap up. So Kevin, favorite match of the night? That's tough to me. There's three bangers. There's three bangers on this one. Dally Pool, whoever else is here, I'm assuming Sam is still here. Let us know in the comments what your favorite match of the night was on AEW Dynamite.
I would put Anarchy in the arena. It's just that's what the show is built all around.
Yeah, I really, really want to say it was the Battle Royal, which I loved.
Yeah,
but Anarchy in Arena was the one. Anarchy in the Arena made me cringe. It made me laugh. It made me, oh my god! I loved that we got Claudio just spinning a young buck in a
double screen, in a split screen, where in one you have the most pro wrestling move in the world, and on the other one a man's driving a fork into another man's head.
Really, how can anybody who's listened to this for any amount of time knows I love the ridiculous chaos you get out of pro wrestling, and you don't get a more ridiculous chaos than that. One man's spinning, one man's getting stabbed with a fork.
Yeah.
Later on, multiple people are getting stabbed in the head. Attempted murder happened on our screens.
Yeah.
On the night that Arn Anderson ate a man's finger. Yeah. Getting people stabbed in the head with screwdrivers.
A lot happened. A lot happened.
So much happened.
We had an exploding Nike.
Yeah, if we had more time to think about it, like the 20 most audacious things to happen on this show.
Yeah.
We might should do that next week.
So next
Tuesday morning.
Which was more? Yeah. We should have a heat in it. What was the most savage move on the show? And it would be like, you got to rank between the fork to the head, the exploding Nike, or the line about Dominic Mysterio.
Hit us. That's right. A claim slipped in there. Hit us up. Hit me up at Peppermint Fatty. That's Fatty on Twitter. Let me know what you think that number one moment was when it comes to that. When it comes to just the ridiculousness of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio, the finger being eaten, the exploding Nike, And I feel like that should be the Young Bucks' new superpower. That should be the new finisher. If only they could make the head. I wish they could have had like a way to set what little hair Moxley had on fire as the result of that.
Yeah.
Now that's I think Sabu could have helped him with that backstage.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
We did see a fireball tonight.
Oh, here's one thing we didn't talk about, Kevin. I know we need to go in the next couple minutes, but we did not talk about the return of the Wizard.
That's right. Some poor backstage assistant.
A lot of like AEW staff had really bad nights tonight.
Yeah.
Aubrey Edwards was completely annihilated. Some poor staffer has had his face burned off. God knows how many more fingers Arn Anderson's eaten backstage. Who knows if we'll ever find that out. It was a rough night. And by the way, also Justin Roberts, the Dapper Yapper, was assaulted.
Yes.
It was assault and battery. It was both.
Yeah.
By I believe it was it John Moxley?
Brian Danielson took his coat.
Brian was having a night, man. Brian was all over the place.
Justin Roberts was flashing back to the and I love that the commentators
PTSD.
called it out that he had PTSD from when Brian Danielson got himself fired from WWE.
By the way, somebody in the Discord was saying that their dad was watching with them, and he's like, and the dad said at one point, why do the commentators keep shitting all over each other?
Yeah.
Which is a great question.
It's a great question.
It is an excellent question.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, we need to wrap it up. Everybody follow me at Peppermint Fatty on everything. Kevin, where do they follow you at?
Kevin Ely on everything. I'm barely on Facebook anymore, though. So basically Twitter, Instagram.
That's right. Our El Capitan, Garrett Gonzalez, got banned from Facebook, which I did at one point, but luckily I got back. He is not yet.
He is not bothered.
We moved everything to the Discord. Again, if you want to join the Discord, GG at fightgamemedia.com. From me, from Kevin Ely, from everybody here at Fight Game Media, have a great week, everybody, and we hope to see you back here again next Tuesday for another brand new episode of The Boom.